Hi! I think we skipped a couple chapters. The look, the space, everything. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense since the last time that I filmed was, I don't know, like 2020. Excuse me. We're filming. Thank you. Oh, yeah, another new cat. There's just a lot of things that have changed. Yeah, I think 2020 was the last time that I filmed, like end of 2020. So, welcome back. Also, I changed the title of my YouTube channel. It is no longer Coffee and Books, but I'm not going to delete any of the old videos because I think that's, you know, silly, especially since I didn't post that much. But now I am Babbling Books. Shout out to my grandmother who came out with that cute name. And yeah, so since he won't leave me alone, this is Otis. Yeah. He is my new cat. Well, I've had him since June. So he's about to turn a year. He's my little Aries prince, and it makes a lot of sense considering his personality. All about him. Everything has to be about him. But yeah, so I changed my name to Babbling Books. I just think that it suits me a little bit better because Coffee and Books, while I really liked it, it just didn't seem like enough personality in my opinion. Like, yeah, Coffee and Books, but I didn't even talk about coffee, even though like I like coffee. But yeah, just, you know, this one makes more sense, and my grandmother knows me a lot more than I know myself, so so yeah, so that is why I changed the title of my YouTube channel. And yeah, so I think the last video that I posted was about my 2021 reading goals, and I think in the video I was like, I want to read 75 books. Yeah, I think I read like 4. So, not surprised at all with myself. But yeah, because a lot of things happened that year. I, you know, obviously moved in August of 2020 back to Orlando, and yeah, it was a lot. Where I was working at previously, I had worked for that company for 8 years, and where I was working at in the last location that I was there, it was terrible. It was not good for my mental health. It was basically like I felt like I did not matter and that I was not important to the company anymore, and especially because the, you know, boss there was just horrendous. She did not care about who you were, how you were, and even if you put in stupid amount of hours like I did, it wasn't good enough. And so I, along with my best friends, decided that it was no longer good for us to work there, and we sought out a different place to work, and now we have been working there since April. Well, me and one of my friends have been working there since April of 2021, and my other friend joined us in like June or July or something like that. And I can't be happier. Yeah, of course, like every job has like issues or whatever, but ultimately I am very happy where I am now. And I've honestly started to notice that I feel like more like myself. And I feel like, even though I'm 26, I feel like I'm now loving who I am and loving figuring out who I am. And yeah, it's a journey. Life is a journey, right? And yeah, so here we are. So to get into it, I did not read my 75 books like I wanted to. I only read 4 or 5. Let me see which ones. Let me see if I can find the ones that I read. A moment, please. Oh, I lied. In 2021, I read 9 books that I, you know, detailed, and one of them was like a reread that I wanted to read the whole series, and so maybe potentially I'll reread it again because I have them in my bookshelf. Is The Alchemist, which is the first in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series. I love it. It's a fantasy story. You know, I'm not going to get into detail with it in this video, but I always enjoy it, and even when I've reread it probably like 3 or 4 times now, I just think it's great. I then read The Midnight Lie. Obsessed, amazing, fantastic. Loved it. And I went and got the second book, and I cannot remember what it's called. The Hollow Heart. I got the second book not too long ago, so I'm excited to read that one when, you know, I get to it. Then I read The Prince and the Dressmaker, which is a cute graphic novel, and I really enjoyed that. I gave that 4.5 stars. Then I read the first in the Brown Sister trilogy, Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I read that 3.5 stars, and I thought it was cute. I could resonate more with Red than I could with Chloe, just about his feelings of like being unable to like express how he's actually thinking and feeling, and I really like that one. And then I'll get into what I've read later. Then I read Fan Chance, Charlie Vega. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. There were certain parts where I was like, all right, Charlie, like, get out of your head. But of course, it's not me that's writing, so. Then the other one that I read was Conjure Women, and I also gave that 4 stars. I enjoyed the storytelling of the past and the present kind of molding in together, and I thought it was a beautiful ending that kind of like left you hopeful but also like concerned about the future and how everyone's going to work out, and I really enjoyed that. The next book that I read was Full Tilt by Neil Shusterman. So I love the Scythe trilogy. I think it's amazing. I'm actually like postponing finishing The Toll just because I'm like, what if I don't like it? But I think it's great writing, and this guy that I was seeing recommended to me Full Tilt because that was like one of Neil's like first works, and I thought it was okay. I think I gave it 4 stars, but like now that I think back at it, I'm like, meh, was it 4 stars? I don't really think so. Was I just giving it 4 because of Neil? Probably, but it was good. Very like I think I like gave it 4 stars knowing that it was like one of his like first works rather than like what he's writing now, but it was okay. Then I read When the Reckoning Comes. I gave that 3.5 stars. I think I gave it that rating just because it was short and there was a lot of like jumping back and forth where I was like, where are we at now? Like, are we thinking back in the past? Are we like crossing over to the future? Are we thinking about like, you know, super far in the future? Like, where are we? And I think that kind of lost me in that end, but I did enjoy the perspective of the storyteller in that story. And then the last one that I read was The Vacationers, and I gave that 3.5 stars, or like, I think like maybe 3.25, I don't know. I thought it was a cute little read, cute little like contemporary read. I was reading it when I was traveling, and it was a quick, not really like hard thinking kind of story. It was definitely like obvious that the dad cheated, and it was like at some points I was like, are we going to the direction that like everyone knows, or are we going to the direction that no one knows? And that, yeah, and then it was kind of like, okay, I get it, but again, like I said, it was just a cute little contemporary read. Oh, hello. Now I have the second one. He's still the OG. This is, say hi. Hi, baby. But yeah, so that was the last book that I read in 2021 for a total of 9 books, and it was good. I enjoyed it. But like I said, my life was just chaos and very negative, and then like starting the new job, I just didn't feel like I had any time because it's like, again, I wanted to prove myself, and yeah. So now that we're in 2022, I have read only 2 books in 3 months, but I'm not surprised. But the ones that I have read are Take a Hit, Dani Brown, so Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hit, Dani Brown, the second in the Brown Sisters, and I loved it. I think that I resonate so closely with Evie and just like how she looks at like romances, and she looks at relationships, and how like she doesn't feel like, she basically feels like as soon as like she did one thing wrong in one relationship and they made her feel less than, done. Like nobody else is gonna think that way. Nobody else is gonna, I'm not even gonna give you the chance to make me feel that way, kind of thing. And I totally understand that. And yeah, I'm actually making my friend read it or listen to it right now, just so he can understand like where I'm coming from and like how I think, and like hopefully he sees that in me. But I mean, everyone's their own person. But yeah, I'm like, read this book. So, yeah. And then the second book that I just finished was Spoiler Alert, which I think I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. And it was okay. I think that's why I gave it a 3-star rating, because there were certain aspects that I like it. I preferred the perspective of the male narrator versus the perspective of the female narrator, even though it was kind of more her story, because I feel that there was like certain bits of it where I was like, where are you getting that from? Like, he never once ever made you feel that way, and like, why are you making it about this? Like, I know that you've had trauma, and I guess that's where the perspective is coming from, but like at other points it's like, you've had all these conversations and talking and understanding and getting to know each other. Like, why would he all of a sudden just come out of left field and do this to you? But I guess to each their own, and yeah. So that is the last book that I read, and I have been reading currently this one book for about 2 months, but I love it. I love it, love it, love it, and I guess I kind of reserve it till whenever I go out to eat by myself and like I'm not doing anything else. But that book is the Atlas 6, and I think it is a great story. I think that the perspectives definitely jump around, and I have this habit where it's like dialogue, and then I like jump, but this book does not let you jump, because then it's like 18 things happen in the past 4 lines, and you have to like really dissect each and every one of them. And I think that's what's making me, this is definitely a slower read, because it's not letting me do that. It's not letting me, you know, just like breeze through it and get to the nitty gritty. It's really making me think, and I'm really appreciating that. And yeah, I got this cover because I saw it on TikTok and I wanted to buy it, and then now apparently this cover you can't find anymore, so special. And I guess I'm also gonna tag on the couple of books that I just bought to, again, like pump up my reading, just because I feel like my reading slump comes and goes. But I got rid of some books here, even though I do not have any more space to put them in here. I wanted to kind of treat myself. So without further ado, the first book that I got was All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace. I do have the original one, and I think I have the Owl Crate version of this. Yeah, I have the Owl Crate version, and I do remember loving it. I think that it was like a good amount of suspense that they left us with, and I do remember liking the world setup and the magic system and how that was worked out. So I really wanted to get this one, and I know it's been out for a really long time, but again, I was not buying books before because I was not reading. So yeah, I wanted to get this one, and now I have this one in paperback and that one's in hardcover, but you know, who cares, I'll figure it out. The next book that I got was something that's not really in my usual reading and style and type, and that is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I don't know, I think I really love a spooky tale, and the fact that this one is kind of like spooky in its own way, that I don't know, I just kind of, I wanted to, I don't know, I liked it. I read it. I read the back where it's like, these are some of the real residents of Savannah, Georgia, a city whose eccentric mores and unerringly observed, and whose dirty linen is gleefully aired in this utterly indesirable book. And it's like a true crime murder story, and I think that I'm interested. So hopefully I will stay interested when I read it. If not, you know, c'est la vie. The next book that I got, I also saw on TikTok, and apparently it's self-published, but apparently it's gonna be like published. And the author has already written the rest of it, I guess. And yeah, so to get into it, this title is The Night and Its Moon, and again, saw it on TikTok from the author themselves. I do not know what their pronouns are, but I saw the author themselves, and it sounds pretty cool. This is book 1, and I think, let's see, there are going to be 4. This one is The Night and Its Moon, the second one is The Sun and Its Shade, the third is The Gloom Between Stars, and the fourth is The Dawn and Its Light. And yeah, it says titled for a 2022 rapid release, so I will be on the lookout for this. I did get it at, all of these books I just purchased at Barnes & Noble. So I will be on the lookout for the rest of them, just so I can complete it, and then, you know, maybe potentially get it before it gets, hopefully, picked up by a publisher. Because I think these are really pretty. I think it's very, like, simplistic and minimal, but it's like, you know what you're getting. Especially when you read the back. Farley's just an orphanage, at least what the church would have believed. But orphans Knox and Faye touched Amaris no better. And then basically it's like they get separated and they're going to find each other again. And that's the whole premise. But obviously this is a thick book. So there's obviously a lot more that are going to go on. But the final book, Otis, excuse me. The final book that I picked up, I have seen a bunch, and I keep trying to find it at my used bookstore, but never around. And then when I saw it at Barnes & Noble's, I was like, it's not too expensive. It was only like $12. And I know that this is a really big popular book when it comes to Booktube, and particularly within Peru's books. She's ranted and raved about it. So it is A Winter's Promise. And I know this is converted from French to English, and so I'm interested in seeing this kind of like, I don't know, like, what's it called? I guess I have this like expectation of what French writing is like and how they picture the world. So I'm excited to see what this is going to be. So yeah, this is, I guess, a very hodgepodge, different kind of video. A lot of things have changed. My hair has changed, my house has changed, my life has changed. So hopefully I do plan on sticking to this because I need to keep myself accountable. I keep saying that I want to read more and I don't. I just kind of like spend a stupid amount of hours on TikTok. Like it's a problem. And my friend Madeline, she, you know, currently lives in a place where she's able to read a bunch, and I really just want to like connect with her on that again because I really miss those discussions that we talked about. And yeah, so welcome back to this hopefully new channel, and I will plan on posting once a week at least. Future me, editing me, get to it. Stop spending all your hours on TikTok. It's a problem. Yeah, so here's hoping that I read all of my books. So yeah, bye.